Am I good on your end, Marlies? Okay. All right, everybody, welcome. So we're going to start facing a couch or a second chair or a coffee table. Okay, so in my case, I'm going to turn toward my couch here. Okay, you could have a table, a second chair, a bench, and then have a if you have a bolster, you can put that in front. Otherwise, any kind of like a couch cushion. Yeah, that works, Cheryl. And I'm sitting on the chair, and the knees are wide. I pull the buttock flesh back, and then extend forward onto the calf. I'm going to scoot in just a little bit closer. So this is Pavan Muktanasana. All right, so it's simulating the bench forward bend that we sometimes do in class. You could also just show you an optional to lift the buttocks a little bit higher so that the hips are higher than the knees as you come forward. That height of the hips helps to get more length of the spine, more depth of the groins. So this is a wonderful pose for any kind of spinal condition. Also, if you have shoulder issues, you could take your arms out like this, your arms out to the sides. Okay, that's also fine. You could put height underneath your arms if you need to. You could blankets or more pillows underneath your arms if you need to. So this, like I said, is really wonderful for any kind of a back condition, any kind of back injury. Also great for headache, great for anytime that you're feeling tense, agitated, overstimulated. When the head is down like this, it helps to cool and calm the nervous system. I'm just waiting to watch you get into it. Okay, good. The key here is to really elongate through the whole spine, is to have enough height under the hips. That's the chair. I added a blanket in order to get full length of the spine and have the trunk more or less parallel with the floor. So build up as you need to under your seat and under your chest, whatever height you need. Can you see, Marley? So here, this is the classic pose. You could turn your head to the side, or you could have some height under your forehead. It's helpful to put your forehead on your forearms so that the cervical spine, the neck vertebrae, dip in from back to front. You could also have your arms hanging down as Marlies is doing. There's different positions of the arms that you can try. So folded, or hanging down, or stretched out to the side. You could even, if you have a rope wall or something to hold on to, you could even extend your arms forward and grasping ropes if you have them. So there are different ways to approach this pose. Extremely useful pose. I would say stay here for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, longer if you want. If you find it beneficial, then you can be here as long as you need. All right, so I hate to bring you out, but starting to move on. You can always come back to these things, right? Now, let's try Ardha Uttanasana. So, moving the chair away, you can keep the support here. Take the feet out and then come forward. You can build this up as needed. You see? You can build it up as needed. If you have space, you could even take the whole trunk the whole trunk forward into Ardha Uttanasana. So do you see how my whole chest is supported? Yeah. Take the hips a little further back, Marlies. Uh-huh. If you, yeah, that looks fine, Cheryl. You do have the option of going higher, but that's fine. I wanted to show a few poses to do when your back is bothering. You know, so Pavan Muktanasana, Ardha Uttanasana. This is also very helpful. Oh yeah, you have that beautiful bolster. Oh, still with the ripped case. Okay, well, it's still a bolster. Does that bother your shoulder to have your arms in that position? Marlies, is it okay on your shoulder? Yeah, okay. It's very helpful to have something, have your abdomen resting on something. It's very soothing for the low back. It's soothing for the abdomen and it's quieting for the nervous system. Now, what you can do, come on up, is if you lower your height, then you can also do Prasarita Padjanasana. Let me just show you with the chair, since this is the chair class. I can go very wide with the legs, pull the bolster all the way in, and then come forward into Prasarita Padjanasana here. Okay, so now instead of the chair, you could have a couch, you could have a bench, all right? But the point here is to have the trunk supported. The feet are wide. The feet are wide, the toes pointing forward. I'm just going to change my camera angle a little bit so that you can see my feet. Feet pointing forward. And then extending forward. If you have two chairs, you could put two chairs, but it's adequate with this one for me. But if you're very tall, you might need two chairs. And these three poses are very therapeutic. Ah, yes, that's good, Marlies. With the bed is wonderful. Can you take your feet a little bit forward? I don't know if you have space underneath the bed. Yes, like that. And the thighs back, Marlies. Yes. Grip the quadriceps because you still have to hold yourself up. Inner thighs back. No, grip the quadriceps with your, firm the quadriceps. Firm the quadriceps. Don't use your hands. Just the quadriceps will firm themselves. Inner thighs back. Grip the quadriceps around the femur bones. Inner thighs back. And now, Marlies, I think I would build up a little bit higher. Do you have another pillow you could put? A pillow or a blanket you could put on top so that the trunk is completely supported. Yes. And what I've been telling students this week is it's becoming more and more clear to us that this pandemic is not ending anytime soon. And so we may need to mentally shift gears to, instead of thinking of this as a short-term solution, this short-term respite that we're online and meeting virtually, we may need to start thinking of this as a long-term reality, you know, possibly for many more months. And so what does that mean? To me, as an Iyengar yoga teacher, that means get your props. Get your props, get a chair, have your bolsters and blankets, you know, as an act of self-love, as an act of self-care, to really invest in yourself and your well-being, and to have the supplies you need on hand to be healthy, to be well for the coming months. It's possible that our yoga studio won't reopen until the spring. And so how are we going to stay connected? How are we going to stay healthy? How are we going to take care of each other until then? So please, if you don't have what you need, you can borrow them from the studio, or you can purchase them from our store, or you can order them on your own. But I think it's really important to realize that this is the reality for some months to come. We're not even in the second wave, we're still in the first wave. And so please be loving to yourself, be compassionate with yourself, and get yourself the supplies that you need in order to keep yourself healthy. So now, start to come up, heel toe in, and then with your chair against the wall or furniture, then come back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now, if this bothers your shoulder, Marlies, then you can come back to the three poses that we started off with. So the three poses that we started off with were Pavan Muktanasana, Ardha Uttanasana, and Prasarita Padottanasana. So you can go back to those poses if this pose bothers or any other pose bothers today. So with the hands pushing into the chair, then step back, grip the shoulders into the shoulder sockets, grip the knees, quadriceps firm, thighs firm, extend through the whole spine. Good. And then come on up. Have a seat on your chair. Have a seat on your chair and face forward. Okay? So now the feet are hip width. Sit on the edge of your chair. Move the buttock flesh back. Hold the back of your chair and then roll your shoulders back. The belly button pulls up. We've talked about this before. Buttock flesh lengthens down and the chest spreads open. Okay? Now, start to lean forward. Start to lean forward, holding onto the chair behind you. Yeah. So Cheryl, you can take your hands up. Do you see when I moved my hands up so that I can lean forward? Yes. Good. And then roll the shoulders back. Belly button stays up. So really important, Marlies and others, to protect the low back. So pull the pubis up to the navel, broaden across the lumbar, this way, broaden across the lumbar, and then lean forward. Come back up. So maybe you recall from a couple of weeks ago that you can adjust this. You can adjust the intensity by moving the buttocks back. Okay? Now, so it's the least intense here. But if you want to go a little further, if you don't have any pain, you can move the buttocks back to the center of the chair and then come forward again. So now see, I have a little more space to come forward when I'm seated back on the chair. But don't force. Don't force and don't do anything that causes pain. Good. And rolling the thighs in, press down through the inner line of the foot, pull the outer shin bones in toward the midline. Draw the inner knee to the inner groin back, and then lean forward, chest open. Now come on back. If you want to go a little further, then you can sit back on your chair. All right. Otherwise, just repeat. And then maybe you can hold the top of the chair or the sides of the chair. But if you can hold the top of the chair, go ahead and roll the shoulders back. Spread the chest open. Now even here, up and back. toward the spine, lumbar wide. So this is similar to the very first pose that we did at the beginning. So Marlies, you can sit on the edge of the chair like this and just practice here, all right? If that doesn't bother. It bothers? Okay. So then go back to one of the forward bends, Marlies. You can come to the first pose. And do Padmasvanasana. All right? Okay, and then Cheryl, come on up. Come on up. Okay. So now the chair will go here. And Urdhva Mukha Svanasana on the chair, Cheryl. So from here, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then I step forward, lift the chest, extend back through the heels, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. And then go back. We'll go back and forth a few times, all right? So Adho Mukha Svanasana. This is week 4 in our monthly calendar. Week 4 is backbend week. So we're doing some a little bit of supported backbending. That's that forward Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Inner thighs up, legs are very straight. Roll your shoulders back. Good. And then go back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Getting that long length of the spine, legs, arms, and step forward again into Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Roll the shoulders back, bring the chest forward, firm the knees, lift the inner thighs to the ceiling, and then go back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step forward and come on up. Now, so turn your chair sideways like this. And then have the back of the chair toward your left shoulder. Now, Marlies, you can try this and see how it feels. So the left leg will go onto the chair. Do you see? The right knee will come toward the floor. All right. So far, so good? Okay. Now from here, turn the hips to face your left knee. Turn the hips so that the belly button is facing forward. Then reach and then Marlies, you might just want to stay here. If this feels okay, if there's no pain here, then you might just want to stay here. Otherwise, reach back with the right foot until the right leg is straight. Okay? Now the reason why I'm suggesting, Marlies, that you keep the right leg bent is because this does compress the low back a little bit. So in order to counteract that, you have to lengthen the buttocks down, which is easier, of course, when the legs are bent, when the right leg is bent. But in order to get into Virabhadrasana 1, you have to lengthen out the right front groin really long. And at the same time that you turn the hips to face forward, reach up through the right arm. Right leg straight. And then come on down. Change sides. So now the right leg will come in front. The shoulder is near the back of the chair is near the shoulder, right shoulder. And then the left leg is bent. You see? Mm-hmm. So now here the hips are nicely turned to the right side. But the bend, the challenge. So is that chair too long for your thigh? Actually, that's okay. Yeah, just let the knee hang down. Yes, that's right. Good, Marlies. Then from here, if you want to go further, as long as you don't have back pain, then reach to the left leg. Left leg is straight. And keep reaching the left heel back, lift up the left inner thigh. Roll the left outer hip forward, belly button back. Not to let the abdomen drop onto the right thigh, but keep the abdomen pulled up and back at the same time that you lift the left inner thigh to the ceiling. Then reach the left arm straight up, left arm straight up. Keep turning the chest to face forward. Nice work. And release. Okay? Let's do it again to the first side. So the left leg will come onto the chair. Right knee will drop for the floor. In this preparatory position, then hopefully you feel the evenness of the right and left front hip, the tailbone lengthening down, the abdomen pulling up, chest open. Okay? Then reach back through the right leg. Reach back through the right leg, or just keep your right leg bent. And keep turning the hips. You can take your hand like this on your right outer hip and turn it forward. Turn it forward. Reach up to the inner thigh. Then reach your right arm up. Yeah, so Virabhadrasana 1. Now, if that is going well, you could try taking both arms up. Virabhadrasana 1 classic. Plug the arms into the shoulder socket and then reach higher with the arms. Take the shoulder blades up. Shoulder blades up. And then come on down. Release the right leg. Stand up and turn around. So start in both legs in a kind of a 90-degree position. Wrap that left outer thigh, outer hip around. And then reach back with your navel facing forward, with the buttocks lengthening down, pubis lifting up, tailbone extending toward the left heel. Now straighten the left leg and lift up to the inner thighs. The back leg doesn't really want to straighten. We have to really coax it, encourage it to straighten, and at the same time, bring the left outer hip forward. You can use your left hand on your left outer hip to bring it forward, then reach up through the left arm. And if that's going well, you could try taking both arms up into Virabhadrasana 1 on the chair. Reach up higher and higher through the arms, straighten the back leg more and more, turn the hips to face forward more and more, and then release. Okay. And then now come back to Adho Mukha Svanasana for a moment here and recover. Good. Then step forward, and you can bring your elbows to the chair, or you can build it up. Okay, you can build it up. Grip the quadriceps, inner thighs back. And you could bring the head down to rest the head. Hips a little further back, inner thighs back, inner thighs back. Internal rotation of the legs, abdomen up and back. That's right. That's right, Marlene. Abdomen up and back. All right. And then inhale, come on up. If you have a mat, put it at the foot of the chair, like this. Now, if you're recovering from back injury, then all you'll do is take Shavasana here, all right, with the legs resting. Cheryl, we can work on Chatushpadasana here. So I'm holding on to the feet of the chair, and then I roll the shoulders under, I walk my feet to the edge of the chair and then lift the hips up. So it's the same action as in Virabhadrasana 1. I'm pulling the tailbone up, pointing the tailbone to the ceiling, lengthening through the front of the thighs, and then someone does. Okay, so we'll do that a few times. Otherwise, you can just rest here in low back Shavasana. Okay, ready, Cheryl? Take your feet to the edge of the chair, lift the buttocks, holding onto the legs of the chair. Yeah, roll onto the tops of the shoulders, and then lift the hips, maximum. Roll the thighs in. Pull the tailbone in, tailbone towards the ceiling. And then come down and rest. Okay, take a couple of breaths here. And then we'll repeat. Chaturshadasana. Feet on the chair, and then lift the hips up. Roll into the tops of the shoulders. Roll the thighs in, lift the buttocks up, pull the outer shins in so the feet are pointing forward. Gaze in toward the chest with a quiet mind and quiet senses, and then lower yourself down. Couple of breaths. And then last time, oh, Rich, too early.
Oh,
Too
okay.
early.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Come back in 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And then bending your legs. Last time, lift up. You can join, yeah, Rich can join us next time, but now we're finishing up. Buttocks up. Roll into the tops of the shoulders. Gaze into the chest. And then come down and rest. All right, so you can stay here, Cheryl, and take Shavasana here. So allowing the weight of the legs to sink into the chair, shoulders dropping down into the floor, soft palms. Let the low back spread on the floor. Be broad on the sacrum. Widen the back ribs away from the spine. So in back bends, we're narrowing the back body, but now we're widening the back body as we rest. Allow the abdomen to softly fall toward the spine. Descending the femurs into the hip sockets. Descend the shoulders away from the ears and into the floor. Soften the throat. Soften the face. Soften the jaw. Feel the abdomen effortlessly rising and falling with the breath. So now you can stay as long as you wish. I'm going to log out and end the meeting. But those of you in Shavasana can stay longer if you like. And thank you for coming and spending this interlude with me. And see you another time.